Greetings, everybody. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Kenshi Shek's Conquest, episode 72, Draining the Swamp. Alright, there's one more wind turbine to build. We'll see if we can't walk on them. I could test that as soon as this gets built. Oh yeah, it's fine. Yep, no problem there. Let's try the other side. No problem there either. So this gate's just tougher than the last gate. The only issue... Yeah, let me put a ramp in there. And then we have ramps close to it. Good. And then let's do defense, crossbow mount light. Oh, there's no mount points here. That's fine. So we just have a big grand entry gate. I like it. That'll work for me. And I'm going to start putting things away in preparation for wherever we're headed. So all of my engineers that picked up building materials or iron plates, will clean that up. So it looks like red sabers. Sorry for the panning. Go attack the red sabers. Glitch. Tora. You guys, have you made anything? There's the blackened chainmail that I'll toss on... Oh, King should sleep. I'm gonna have King rest real quick while I get ready for the raid, because he did get hit. So, Ruka... Oren, you take this chainmail. And then the old one is gonna go to a hand-me-down to someone else who needs it. So this goes to... Giza. So all this stuff I can sell, because this is old gear that I don't really need. Let's turn everyone's jobs off, and everyone gather around, and I'm going to start cleaning up our inventories so that we can raid sooner than later. His leg got messy. Oh man, we are full of hemp. Oh god, is there nowhere I can there's nowhere I can even put this hemp. That's a problem. Kun Poo, thank you for the follow. I like the name. Welcome to the stream. If you have any other questions besides what's answered by the commands, let me know. Alright, trust in. Glitch has a new Edge 1 blade. So these 4 blades definitely should get handed out before we head out, because they're superb. So I'll give one of the Edge 1s to Rockvin. And then another Edge 1 to Kang. No, King already has a Mark III. To Rain. And Oren. And let's go with L's. I'm just doing it from like top to bottom so it's easier for me to manage. Alright, so all the blades have been handed out. Is there armor? No, there's... Unless someone has high quality white plate. Oh, yep, okay. The first person I select does. Alright. There's no armor now to hand out, so I can ignore that. Because I'm pretty sure everybody has at least specialist helmets. can check. I do think that there's some unshirted people still, and there's some people with high-grade white plate jackets, but they just don't have the jackets. But I think we're all in specialist or masterwork samurai helmets. Except for headshot, but that's by design. Okay, yeah. I think we're good on that front. I do still have disabled power at the refineries. Yep. Let's power them back on. Not that they're being managed by anyone, because I need to redo the work priorities, but I think we have enough power to run everything now. But I won't know until everybody's at their work stations drawing power actively. So now all that's left to do is to grab some food. I'm going to have King grab some dust switches for the road. He's healed up enough that I'm not that worried. I don't think anyone else has injuries. I'm going to quickly check. Okay, there's a few nicks and scratches, but no real injuries for anyone else. Gate's closed. It's private, not open to the public. And we are going to follow whoever's slowest. Is probably still a Slotus. So let's follow a Slotus, and we are going to start running southwest. I'm just going to hope that... Okay, dead. Dead. Dying. Okay, I don't think there's going to be anyone left in the base. That was the only other thought I had, which is, did we leave like a wolf in the hen house? But I think we're good. Do I actually know where the Red Saber hideout is? I do. It's on my map. Cool. Is it okay for me to be upset you aren't marching in military formation? Sure, you can be upset. If you want. I have a very good reason not to be, if you want me to make the argument. All formations are, I would make the argument that all formations in Kenshi are worse than just following the slowest person. Uh-oh. Except for when someone falls behind. Wait, why is K so slow? Oh, boy. You cannot carry your armor, dude. Case is the slowest member of the team by a lot. Why is he so slow? What is he wearing that, like, made him... Oh, you're holding a dude. Put him down. Okay. That explains it. He was carrying a dead person. Here you go, Yoda. He really has a passion for burning people. He really, really does. Hey, there's some probably red sabers over here. Or grass pirates. Band of Bones. No, I'm wrong. Well, they've got to be fighting someone. Who are they fighting? Swamp ninjas. Okay. Swamp ninjas. Maybe if there's time. I don't... Yeah, no, actually, I know where the swamp ninjas are. If there's time, I'll do a 2-for-1. I'm going to clean up a lot of the crime in the swamp. I also want to make it clear, the only reason I'm fighting these guys is because they've attacked me in the past. So they're hostile to me, right? I'm not, this is a role-playing series, so I'm not necessarily going to attack enemy factions that I have no interaction with. So I'll give you a hypothetical, a slightly spoilery hypothetical. There is a lot of enemy factions to be found down here, right? A really good example would be the Southern Hive. So, the Southern Hive, which would be here, I've never been attacked by. So I have no reason to go marching into their territory and murdering their queen unless they mess with me first. So the Red Sabers and the Grass Pirates have messed with me, which is exactly why I'm considering them an enemy faction. But anyone that hasn't messed with me, I don't intend to attack. So if you're wondering, hey, will I ever go attack X, Y, or Z? The answer is, well, have they attacked me first? If not, no, probably not, unless they're an enemy of our faction. If it's not one of the goals here on the right, you know, it's not something I have to do to win. Alright, come on, pause music. Has Holy Nation attacked me? Yes. Yes, they have. Oh boy, have they ever. They, like, followed me for, like, kilometers and kilometers and kilometers. This is actually pretty funny. Who hasn't attacked me would be Krall's Chosen and Berserkers. Actually, I think the Berserkers did attack me briefly, but Krall's Chosen hasn't. But we're still enemies of their faction. I don't think the Berserkers dislike me, but I think they have jumped me on the road before. I could be wrong about that. But they're, you know, they're enemies of our faction, anyway. Yeah, I think the Berserkers did attack me once, though. They kind of just attack everyone, even though they're not hostile to your faction. So that's something that's interesting about Kenshi, is if you look at the faction here, there's a lot of factions in here that would attack me on sight, even if I'm not hostile to them, just because that's how they are. So Reavers would be a good example. Reavers I am not hostile with, or Red Sabers, right? Red Sabers or Sand Ninjas I'm not hostile with, but they absolutely would try to kill me on sight, because they try to kill everyone on sight. Whereas other factions like the Shek Kingdom would not attack me on sight, but they're an enemy of our faction. Yeah, Swamp Ninjas, that's another good example. They attack me on sight all the time, but we're technically not hostile with one another. So, you know, there's multiple factors, which is, what is the diplomatic stance of the faction, which is to just try to kill everyone, like Swamp Ninjas, and are we actually enemies? Have I messed with them? Have they messed with me? Something like that. So the Southern Hive has never attacked me, and unless I travel into their territory, I don't suspect they ever will, because they tend to only patrol their own bubble of the world. So the Southern Hive, for instance, will only really ever attack anyone in this sort of area here, and if you stay out of their area, they just won't mess with you. Alright, let me save first. Hello? Knock knock. I think I have the right address, so let's get physical. Hi, Red Sabers! The hell am I doing? Red Saber Boss says, oh, I'm here to proselytize. I like how... Oh, bugger off. That was rude. Alright. Unlike what happened with Dimak, let's keep a close eye on Red Saber Boss. He is wanted by the United Cities, so he's ransomable. He also hits like a truck. So here we go. Red Sabers. This is a really good example. They attacked me first. They obviously... I was trespassing, so it's not exactly their fault. But, yeah, they initiated this attack, and now we're hostile because I've hit their diplomatic leader, the Red Saber Boss, in the chest. And will continue to do so until he's unconscious or dead. Look at all that green. Look at the ratio of damage here. This is not an even fight. I have 0 people unconscious, and like half of them are unconscious on the ground. yeah! The bosses, I'm sure, are going to cause a lot of damage because he's a tough cookie. But sharp point? Why are you? Oh, hang on. I had some people on passive, like sharp point. That's entirely my fault. And also, Thorfinn still. Oh, okay. Sorry, Thorfinn. I don't know how that. I don't know how that happened. He still had building materials on his bag. All right, boss is down. King, pick him up. I don't need the money, but it's a point of pride. And there's a few of them still out here. Nope, there was. There is no more. I didn't have a single person knocked out, which is awesome. And here's my first Meito weapon. Oh, yeah. So there's only ever one Meito horse chopper in the entire world. It is the highest quality weapon that exists, and its stats are ridiculous. Taking a look at the roster right now. Who called horse choppers? I don't think anyone specifically called horse choppers, but they are sabers. So Fully wanted to be Saber spec'd. So Fully, this is your weapon. Congrats. There it is. And the old blade's gonna go to King. Oh, out of range. Alright, so Fully. Old blade to King. Actually, before we do that, let me show you the increase. So, the old katana is 0.98 cut and 0 blunt. And this is 2.2 cut, 0.5 blunt. Wow. That's a big jump. That's a big jump. It's also very heavy. So, Fully is going to have some encumbrance problems for a bit. But, that's fine. Alright, I think everyone's patched up. Let me just, first day the Red Saber boss. But what do you guys want me to do with the boss? What to do with the boss? Ransom or kill? It's up to you. I'd have to be pretty creative about how to kill him, so let me not patch him up just yet. But I will take his armor. His armor's... has some sell value. So I'll sell it. And let's poke around their base, make sure that we get everything of value here. But Red Sabers are gone. I'm not going to grab the cactus rum. Sorry, Els. It's more effort than it's worth to bother selling it, because I don't really need the money. In fact, the same could be said for the armor. Let's forget the armor. I don't care. No chest is safe from the swarm. Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff, but it's mostly just food. I don't really care for that backpack. Let's keep looking. Ransom is higher than sell, so we might end up ransoming Mr. Saber Boss. But while I have everyone together, one thing I should do is assess... Oh, horse, are you stuck? Yeah, sort of. Is assess injuries, but I'm going to head over down this way for, you know, reasons. So current goal... Head over there for, reasons. Yep. Who's the ransom with? United. cities. It's also Shek, but I'm not allowed to ransom Shek. Who's stuck in the base? Horse still? You? And, hold on. I think Tilk's slower than everyone else. He must have taken a leg shot. Yeah, he took a leg shot. So we all follow Tilk. But luckily, he heals quickly, thanks to his symbiote. Jaffa, march! We don't take slaves. It's against our ethos, so not enslaving them. Just ransom or killing. Only two options. See? Yeah, he is patched up. Maybe the UC enslaves them? I don't really care what they do. They could do whatever they want. 8 turtles. Alright, timer's up. Ransom it is. Walking ravioli. Yep, they're very, very tasty. Who is that running? They're gone. Oh, there they are. Who cares? Alright, before we jump into this, is anyone really hurt? Oh my god. No. Like, no one's hurt. Like, just Tilk's leg. That is just unbelievable. we waltz into the Red Saber base and we're just like, alright, hi. So, here we are at the Swamp Ninjas. Where's their leader? There they are. Hi, Shade. I have a bounty for your head. But only the Shek wants you, so we have to kill you. Sorry, Shade. Leave here. Yeah, make me. Fine, then I'll make you leave. Oh, well, I called that. But you're unconscious, so... Teehee, I win. I'm gonna pick you up. And... loot ya for a guardless katana, but it's only edge 2. But it is made by Edgewalkers, so it's better than anything that we could ever manufacture ourselves. It's just not special at the same time. And I'm stripping Shade. Perhaps to try to find a big thing that wants to eat some Shade pudding. Or throw some Shade around. But I'll take your blade for now. I'll hand my edge one off to someone else. And they're done. All done. Let's loot here as well. See, these are the Swamp Ninjas. They've been messing with me constantly every time I'm in the swamp. So, you know, pox on them, right? They're poor, though. They're not quite like Red Sabers, where they have a Meito blade. No Meito blade. Lower quality armor. Do you even have rum? God, you guys don't even have rum. I mean, I know I didn't announce myself as company coming, but you could at least make some rum for me. Alright, Tilky. Silky Tilky. Let's go down to Clown Steady to ransom off the Saber boss. So who could use that blade? Shona? Nope. Rezor. Yes. Alright, so Greaser has an edge 1 blade now. More Red Sabers? Come on, man. I'm literally holding my boss on my shoulders. I don't think you're in a position to win this fight, but let me prove it to you. I'm gonna really enjoy watching this guy get shecked. for 3 swings. Come on now. You're like, I've done more damage to me because Headshot's not careful while she fires. Like, legitimately, that is true. Headshot caused more friendly fire damage than they even dealt to me. They aren't even my own greatest enemy. I am. Alright, how is Miss Shade doing? I can't even click Shade. What? Why not? Critical. All right, if I see some blood spiders or big things, I'll feed Shade. But we're in the wrong area for man-eaters. King is slow? Yeah, King is a little slow. 21. Cut him some slack, though. He's holding a big fat dude, and it has a pack full of 1,000 picnics. But he's about to get faster in a second, because I'm about to ransom off Saber Boss. Well, Fully, how do you like your new blade? It's very shiny. Another thing I should mark down is, Fully, you're the only one on the list that has a weapon that I can mark down. So here's the roster, and here's Fully down here. You can see I could mark down weapon done. Because there's nothing better than a Meito Saber. Just nothing at all. So there's a Shinobi Thieves here where I could buy some packbacks, which is worth noting, and the Ranger shop where I could buy bolts. Ah, Police Chief. Here you go. Thank you for paying me. Alright, Headshot, let's buy some bolts. If the building will load. So that's 2 gang bosses killed in 15 minutes. Pretty good. Honestly, she doesn't need a skeleton repair kit. She doesn't have any bionic parts. And she's got a Masterwork Ranger, but there are some Springbats here. But I really I'm digging the Ranger a lot on her. It's a very fine weapon. Let's go over to the Shinobi Thieves, see if we can pick up some additional thief backpacks. I think that's fine at this point. Yes, there is a few. I'm just picking people at random. Okay, cool. That was worthwhile. Let's book it home. What kind of Meito did Didmac have? A Ninja Blade. The Buzin and Didmac are known as the Twin Ninjas. If I could find their stupid tower. Tower of Ninjas. So, Ninja Blade is what they've got. What happened to my original base? Oh, I just abandoned it. I actually disassembled it, dismantled it, and moved. Didn't need it anymore. Gotta keep a eye on Headshot. I need to do some strength training on Headshot because she's not even strong enough to carry her own arrows. She gets encumbered. The thing is, the 20 strength that you all voted on for me to train to allows to carry about 36 kilograms, which is just enough for our current uniform, but probably not enough for the block and chainmail setup. So, no, it is. Just not the better pants, not the metal pants. So Rook is kind of like in our temporary uniform. Our final uniform will be the leg plates, but the leg plates are definitely a lot heavier. So Ruka weighs 32, or is currently encumbered 32 kilos. And that's with a katana, which is a relatively light weapon. Foley is a good example of someone that's over-encumbered. So this horse chopper weighs 10 kilograms, which is pretty heavy. Would the wearing the heavier uniform train strength? It would, but like so insignificantly that it wouldn't really help us much at all. Because it takes an extraordinary amount of running around when you're barely encumbered to level up strength. It might be possible for me to find someone that has a little bit of yeah, I could probably show you. Let me find. I think King is encumbered. No. No one. No, not a single person in our. Oh, no, that's not true. Headshot is encumbered enough to train strength. So she is encumbered 6 extra kilograms, and she's training strength at 1% encumbrance bonus. So if we take a look at her strength, her progress bar, this is how fast it would go. Which is to say, like, never. Oh, I am getting nibbled on. Now, let me just, I'm not gonna pair up. Let me just attack. We'll take more injuries, but I think we're fine. We'll have a few people get knocked out, I think. But we'll win. Bad little big things. Breezer and Gizo got knocked out. My farmers are down. And they're back up. Alright, everybody's healthy. There are some people with leg injuries. And we patched Shade up. Well, this is a good place as any to feed Shade to the, the big things. Those big things eventually will get back up and will want to eat people. I'm going to have to carry some people home, so let's figure that out. This Slotus is at 18. Foley needs to be carried, so Rockvin, go pick up Foley. And that was it. Alright, Slotus, bring us home. I'm actually going to stick around. I want to watch Shade die. Even if it adds a little time to the clock. Oh, did I massacre? Okay, there's another problem. I monster trucked these big things so badly. No, one's going to get back up. I take it back. Most of them are dying, but this one... Ah, crap, it just went to dying. I'm gonna have to first aid it. Oh, hi. You're up. Okay, let me back up so that it eats Shade instead of fights me. Bye, Shade. Bye. So the reason why I have to watch this is if I left the area, combat wouldn't be rendered, and Shade could survive, and then the faction, the Swamp Ninjas, would continue to, like, mess with me. So I have to basically make sure that Shade dies to get rid of the faction. To make sure that I don't have to fight Shade sometime in the future. And I'm gonna do just that. In fact, while I do this, Foley can heal up a bit, because I ain't doing anything else, so might as well have you be in a bed. So maybe I don't have to carry you. This is also a pretty good testament to, like, how strong we are now. That we hit these big things so hard they can't recover, which is pretty cool. Only one of all the big things we fought managed a recovery. All the others are dying. What was that noise? And while we watch Shade get picked apart, Let me play DJ. This is a little morbid. But I just need to make sure... Oh, he's dead. Blood loss took him. And there's nothing left. Oh, nope. Goats to the rescue, or bone dogs to the rescue. That is a giant swarm of bone dogs that decided to run up here and knock the big thing out. Oh, apparently not just over there, over here too. Wow, I am getting straight up swarmed by bone dogs. Good combat practice. Yeah, I'm impressed. I mean, I know we're in the high bone fields, so like, there's a chance that happens. That was a lot of dogs. And now I've got more limpers. So I'm gonna definitely have to carry some people out of this. But this is fantastic combat and toughness training, because bone dogs are decent enough enemies to put up a okay fight. All right, so let's see who's gonna get meta lift. We'll say 18. Iguvon's 18 miles an hour is the low threshold. So poetic. Only poetic. Replicator failed. That sucks. My advice to you, join Discord and sign up for the events and the announcements. If you sign up for Twitch announcements on my Discord server, you'll get a ping. You'll get a notification every time I go live. I don't, as any member of my... Hey, we actually wiped out a whole nest. That's neat. I didn't realize. But yeah, anyone that is a member of my Discord server can probably attest to, I don't abuse pings. I don't over-ping you. I just, every stream gets 2 pings, a few hour advance notice, and then when I go live. And you can pick all of the announcements that you sign up for. So if you want to join Discord and you don't want to ever get pinged, you don't have to be. You can just disable it. And you'll never be notified. But that's probably the best way to get notified. Discord has 2 built-in methods. One is the notification pings, and the other is the events. And that's a lot more reliable than Twitch. Because, yeah. Twitch notifications sometimes never come. Even when you want them. A lot of good memories here in this this neck of the woods. Fighting for our lives. Kenshi 2 will complete your life. Liexing? I'm eager to play it. I don't know if it's going to complete my life though. That's a bit of a high bar. Oh no. Not the noisy sand. Byron, thanks for gifting us a sub to Tumbling. And Tumbling, I thought you were going to go to sleep. You missed most of the stream because you fell asleep and took a nap? Well, Sir Ice Mage. That's okay, happens to the best of us. I'm glad I didn't do that. That'd be a little bit different. Poetic, you can walk again. Let me put you down. I suspect you're probably... No, Fully's slower. Wow, you out-healed Fully. Hey, Cheese, thanks for gifting out to Macbeer and Renzel Punch. What does that bring you up to? 15, 18? I could cheers that. Well, we're almost home. And right on time, too. If I fell asleep, you'd have to wake me up with bits and subs. Yeah, or like a light show. Yeehaw! I need to have like a light show command. When you guys hit like Hype Train 5, I'll have to make a note of that. Oh, what a lovely looking town. With a arguably somewhat ugly gate, I won't deny. But it's... Oh, no, don't dismantle it. Dear Lord. Someone damaged our gate while we were away. That's interesting. But here we are. Home, safe, sound, and a few baddies fewer in the world. Red Saber and Grass Pirates, or Swamp Ninjas rather, not Grass Pirates, are done. They're gone. That's a feather in my cap, if I do say so myself. Before wrapping up here, I'm just going to make sure to put everything that I don't need on me away. I also have a ton of people that, like, desperately need medical attention. Some people got pretty hurt. Not from all the factions that we beat up, but from then the Beak Things and the Bone Dogs thereafter. We fared pretty good against those Red Sabers, though. One of these days, I'm gonna spring for some additional bedding so that I can rest all 32 at once. I'm just very lazy and haven't done it yet. Also, wouldn't fit all that nicely. If you're wondering why I haven't replaced or upgraded all my walls, I just don't want to go to the effort to rebuilding all of them, considering not a single wall segment has ever been attacked other than the one directly adjacent to my gate, which is this one. Which is exactly why I haven't bothered, because it's a lot of work for really only the aesthetics of a nicer looking wall, and not... It would technically keep us better protected, but since the walls have never been even struck, I think it's a lot more work than it's worth. So, yes, I'm lazy. That's, I guess, all I can say about that. Well, I only have a little bit of time left, so I'm just trying to heal everybody up so that next stream we could jump straight into some bloodshed. It's a beautiful, beautiful bloodshed. I know there's space on the roof. I'm lazy. I just don't want to. I'm fully aware that I have an entire roof that could accommodate plenty of beds. But see Exhibit A, laziness. It's easier not to. Because if I did build it, then I'd have to spend a whole lot of time taking the fabrics and building materials out of people's inventories because they love to stuff their pockets with stuff and they never put things away. And I don't like nannying my Shek. It's annoying to me. So instead of having to nanny the Shek, I'll just not do it. And that's all. That's the least effort, right? We're also almost fully healed up. Doesn't take very much. It's pretty rare that we get our butts kicked enough to require everybody to be in beds for an extended period of time. We're just not weak like we used to be. You know, those days, unless we pick like a horrible fight, most of those days are kind of behind us. So we're almost all recovered. I think next stream I'm going to have a revote about our uniform armor, including some of the other options that I don't have the blueprints for, like the unholy plates. And also a revote about the threshold to start differentiating our weapons. I'm not going to do that now, because I'm going to let those that tune in potentially next week, because of course this still has to win in the polls for me to play. But potentially next week, I'll have those people. So it could be you if you show up. Vote on our actual final uniforms. Planning on getting King out to the Great Library and buying the last of the blueprints that I need, if they're offered. And making a final decision. Because we are very close to pretty much having all the research that we kind of need. So we can start jumping to our final design, our final armor design, and then picking all the fights that we need to pick, which will be a lot of fun. How would it fare against the raid of paladins? Depends on the raid. Probably pretty well if it was just a standard paladin raid with like just one inquisitor and a few high paladins. But if it was one of those raids where it has like a swarm of inquisitors, then I would have to rely more on defending myself with mounted weaponry. Inquisitors are really, really, really strong. If I went to like a holy farm or holy mine, or maybe even a holy military base, I could probably wipe it out. Unless there was named inquisitors there. If there's named inquisitors there, it would be a trickier fight. Especially if the base has mounted defenses. So that's another factor to include, is like a lot of going into stack, for instance. You have a lot of paladins that are on crossbows. And they will shred you up quick. So our armor is pretty good. But I do think we need everybody in the chainmail and high quality armor that we have access to survive something like that. All right, let's wrap this up. The last thing I want to do here is to put some spotlights in the front gate so as to not forget, because I ripped out the last pair, and we're pretty much all set to take any sort of priority. So viewer submitted, or viewer voted goals for next stream. Thank you for tuning in to Kenshi Shek's Conquest, which originally streamed live on Twitch December 30th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to chat with me or my Discord community, the link to Discord can be found at Rhadamant.com or the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel. I'll catch you next episode, fellow Shek. Goodbye.